Welcome back to Beyond the First Response. It's Christy Lister here.
With Ciara Dooley Madrid.
How are you, Ciara?
I'm good. And you?
Good. It's been a long week.
I know. I feel like we got back from Texas and it just has not stopped.
Oh, no kidding. It's one thing after the other, but that's part of life, right? It happens. And
Right.
you think you go on a little getaway and it's vacation and life it doesn't stop. But it really wasn't a vacation. It was more of an educational get together, bringing families together. So our first help family weekend happened 2 weeks ago
Three.
already. Is it 3 weeks already?
We flew 3 weeks ago today. Yeah.
Holy macaroni.
Yeah. Right? Am I right? Am
Wow.
I crazy? No, 3 weeks ago, the ninth. Uh-huh.
Well, we're almost in September here.
I
Okay.
know.
Well, my bad. My bad. 3 weeks ago. And you get there, you spend time with people that are like you, that have been through things that nobody should go through. We had some great training sessions, that's what we're talking about today, the importance of training prior to going through being on this side of suicide, number one. However, here we are on this side of suicide, and what can we do to help each other and help ourselves?
Right. And like this year was the first year we had the mixed group sessions. Before it's been all the widows together, and then it would be like the adult siblings and then adult children and parents if they came. And this year was the first year where everybody was together. And honestly, going in, I was like, because the widows can have a whole different side of anger than a parent can. So I was like, oh man, this could be weird. But then I loved the sessions this year. Like I took home so much from them. And I say this not as a great thing, but it was great to see how others grieve too, like how a mother grieves or a sister grieves, and hear the different experiences that we've all gone through, but then how we've all handled it, so to speak. And I really enjoyed that.
How'd you like the range of resiliency?
I didn't go to it.
You
I
didn't,
didn't
did
sign up
you?
for that class.
Apparently, she gets enough of me while we're on the podcast that she felt that she didn't need to attend. That's okay.
Hey, I did the music class, which I absolutely adored. It was awesome.
I wanted to do
And
that.
it was so cool. And then we did and I talked about this yesterday. I did I can't even think of it, the somatic movement class. And I was actually in it with Dave Betts, who is a police officer for people who don't know him. So watching him like experience how to do the somatic experience. I hope I'm saying it correctly. I hope I'm even remembering it correctly. Um, is it
I don't
somatic?
know. I'd have to try and find my email if I still have it with what they were.
Oh, I think I do have it. But seeing him go through it and how he's a first responder and how his brain was forced to stop and do things like that just made it even more of a powerful class, so to speak, because we we got to see him. Yeah, I was right. Somatic experience, using your body to heal. So watching him be able to do that was like that was pretty powerful too, because here he's being vulnerable for help.
And
What
thank
we
you,
all
Dave,
want all
for
of them to
being
be.
vulnerable, for the strength of being able to show that you can be strong and vulnerable at the same time, because that's
Yes.
one and the same.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
I did because I taught the second day.
That I
The
didn't go to.
first day I did the art class.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And that was interesting because I am not an artist.
Do you have your drawing so you could show everybody?
Yeah. So I do have it.
Perfect.
Um, for our listeners, I will describe it. For our YouTubers, you'll be able to see it. Basically, I took, I was trying, you kind of talk about what's going on. It's a therapeutic art class. So no scissors, no, you had paint you could do. So I used paint. And at first I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. So it's a heart. And after tearing it, and I'm like, well, but it's a broken heart because my heart won't ever heal this. It won't be the same. It'll heal. ish, scar tissue adds up to protect you. And I was going to put like a chain across the front, kind of like it's still together. But then I realized when I did this, I'm like, it's actually wings.
Yeah.
It's an angel. So I'm like, broken hearts are angels flying.
Yeah.
So, hi, there's my tattoo, but it will be much better done by the tattoo artist. I will give my idea, but I have stitches. It's kind of hard to see on here because I
The
really didn't
gray.
know what I was doing. Yeah, they're gray, but they're stitches bringing the heart back together.
I love it. I
And
didn't
then,
take that art class, so I'm sad.
yeah, and then you wrote like a whole synopsis, which I don't know what I did with of what it was, but it was very therapeutic.
But I feel like the just the art piece itself is more therapeutic than what you wrote out, because that tells a story without having to even tell a story, right? That's why you're like,
Right.
I'm gonna get a tattoo of this now.
Well, imagine if I was a good artist, what that would look like. There were some people in there who were phenomenal artists. I'm like, hi, I look
Hi.
it's kindergarten, no, preschool. It's me. But the important thing is, it doesn't matter what it looks like. It's what I envisioned it to be. And it's not what I started doing at the time.
It's how you expressed yourself through your art piece.
Yes. And some realities, tears were falling,
Mhm.
um, things that I didn't know I had inside me, which, okay, that's probably a lie. Things that I thought I had dealt with inside of me were kind of coming out.
Yeah, I can see that. Like,
So putting a band-aid on something is not dealing with it.
no.
Thinking that you can rip the band-aid off because it's healed is not necessarily true. You still have to process through it.
Yeah. That's a whole, I mean, and even nowadays, I feel like it's totally off subject, but it actually pertains to it. I don't use a Band-Aid very often.
Mm-mm.
I just let it heal like naturally. I have a Band-Aid on right now, but it's not for an
I
owie.
don't use a band-aid very. Oh, look, there's one right there.
No, okay. Do you want to see? It's because I have a stupid wart, okay? And it won't go away. And I don't want to have it dug out by the doctor and have a real Band-Aid. So I just keep these ones on. So it's not a real Band-Aid. But I don't put Band-Aids on things. I let the air hit them and naturally heal, because then you're releasing. I don't know. Even before Matt, like, it was just not a thing I did, because
Right.
I was always told, like, let it
Let it breathe.
breathe. Let it breathe.
Yes.
Yeah, let it breathe. Let it be free. So I don't
Take
use
those
Band-Aids.
fuzzies out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Just yank it out of that
Yeah,
scab.
that's
It's
right.
mine is dog hair.
Take
This is dog
it.
hair.
Yeah, that's so funny. But there's so many different ways, and that was the cool thing about these classes. There are so many different ways and things that you can do in your everyday life
Yeah.
that if you're open to and understanding that you can walk outside and feel the wind hit your face, and that's very healing. And you bring your mindset, it give you those tools. These are all tools to help you heal. At the same time, they're also tools to help you deal.
Yeah.
And when you feel a trigger of something come on, whether it be anxiety, sadness, you know that you could walk outside in bare feet, put your feet in the grass and breathe
Right.
and feel the earth breathing with you.
Yeah. And that was when in the music class, it was really therapeutic, because they started with like this angry, really emotional music, and they had us tell words of what we felt from hearing that, what we got from it, and we wrote all these words down, and then we went from that to, I think the last song was Lizzo, or like one of the last song, like the happy, like empowering, be strong songs, was the Lizzo song, which by then, like, I'm bawling because I have a video of Matt and Danica dancing to that song, like, and she looks so little, and it was just so cute. They were dancing, and I'm sitting there and I'm losing it. I'm crying so hard. But at the same time, like, it the music walked you through your emotions, and they talked about how having just that playlist for bad days can help you, like, because the music can let your emotions roll with you, and you can go through it. And I was like, oh, I need to delete my 197 playlist
And just
and
it
just do
that's
10.
funny that you say that. I'm so glad to hear that because on my other podcast, we talk about three songs. We kind of say three people you can talk to, uh, three things you can do for yourself, and three songs. One maybe that will help you calm
Hmm.
what's going on, one that will let you just kind of cry or get it out, and
Hmm.
one that will rev you up to get you going.
Yeah.
And that just reiterates without having any knowledge other than the way it makes me feel when I do
Right.
that. Not having that background knowledge of that, but because you feel music from your head to your toes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. I mean,
Yeah.
I have a dancer. I know that that's how she expresses herself. Music is her thing. But she didn't like the kids' music one, and I don't know if that's an age thing, because kids and
I kept trying to go in the kids' music one when we were trying to schedule. I'm like, oh, I could do that one. No, I'm not 5 to 10. I'm not
but
16.
I don't know if she was just saying that or if she took something from it because like I feel like the kids do take stuff from it, but it's different than how we take from the
Yes.
sessions because especially the teenagers, right? Because and this was Yanica's first year, so going. So she met people, she had all these people that were like her that she never knew she had. So but it was still a very vulnerable space for her to be in. So I don't know if she really likes it. Like I should ask her probably again in like a month, like give her some more time and then be like, so did you really like that or did you not like it? Because I feel like she would have if she let herself be vulnerable, but
But she's still
teenagers.
guard in being a child who is an emotional ball anyway, or doesn't know how to express emotions. That's going to be understandable. You're going to take it different ways, and you're not going to really tell. She's never going to really tell you the truth
Right.
about that, especially if it was vulnerable.
Yeah.
It
Oh
made
yeah.
her feel. And when you're going through all that, and you're talking to your friends and finding out your friends that you've made there have similar feelings or went through similar things, and all those feelings are coming together. Now they're intertwined, and it's a lot,
Right. Oh
and that's
yeah.
a lot for adults. So
Oh yeah.
it's hard to express your feelings um for anybody. If you're not practicing expressing your feelings or talking about how you're feeling, it's always going to be hard.
Oh yeah. I mean, and even still it's
Mhm.
like kind of like what we talked about with Pat, like healing and going through your healing journey is a completely selfish act. And it's a different kind of selfish than what people think. But I think for kids, it's not as easy as it is for us to recognize that, okay, well, this is how I need to be to get from A to B, if that makes sense.
Well, I think it's the age of 27 that the brain fully matures.
The female brain fully matures.
No, even the male.
Are you
Well,
sure?
I hear you now. Wait, erase. The male brain never matures.
I thought the male brain doesn't fully mature until like 40, like one or like they're old. I mean,
80.
that, maybe.
I was told, well, now, let me,
Gonna Google it.
when does the male brain
Hmm.
stop developing? Fully mature. We'll go with fully mature. Approximately 25 years of age.
What? And women are 27?
I had a psychiatrist tell me 27. When does the female brain
Google this myself.
fully mature? About the age of 25.
What?
Uh-huh.
Oh, it doesn't say male. It just says,
Boy.
oh, mine doesn't say boy. Males and females don't finish brain development until age 25. Man, really?
Yep. The brain completes its rewiring process by 25 years of age. I love that statement because in that thought process, even though your brain does not complete its rewiring, trauma changes that rewiring, but you can rewire the rewire.
Oh, yeah. You don't even need to be an electrician. You just
I
have
was
to
just
do the
gonna,
work.
you were reading my mind. I'm like, you don't even have to be an electrician.
But no, because I mean, if you don't rewire after trauma, then you're just sitting in the trauma.
Right.
That's essentially what we all work to do, through every, even, not minor trauma, but there's minor trauma and then there's major traumas that people go through in their lives. And if you don't deal with those and try to heal through them, then you're not rewiring anything. You're just sitting there with broken wires, fizzing out wires.
Yeah. You have to keep changing the fuse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, or you're just adding more plugs into the outlet, like, addiction and this,
Yeah.
bad coping skills.
Exactly. And they get you nowhere.
Hmm.
And when you feel that way, you think, oh, well, if I do this, it's going to protect me or I will get better. But that's not the case.
Yeah.
And learning those tools, though, that rewiring, we could for the rest of our lives. Our brain is changing every day.
Oh, yeah.
Now I'm like on this, oh, well, what if, how, maybe.
Ooh.
So internally, I might be like the age of 15.
I'm 12.
So maybe my brain has it. Yeah. But that's what keeps me laughing and keeps me going.
Right. Because
I'm
you
not
do,
getting stuck.
yeah, you find humor and you enjoy the little things.
Exactly. Exactly. And that rewires my brain.
Hmm. Yeah, because you recognize that the little things matter just as much as the big things.
Yep. I did. So as we're talking about that and processing, which is what those classes really were really for, we went through some challenges when we got back. And I have to say, the growth that has happened in the past 4 years with doing these recognizing resiliency, being mindful, finding ways to take a breath, so to speak. I recognize a lot of things. If I was getting angry, now in some cases, it didn't stop me from getting angry. So I cannot say that's the case, but in all cases anyway, but I recognized it. I sat with what it was that was really bothering me. Am I angry? Am I sad? Am I, flabbergasted? Whatever. Because there's so many different emotions that we try and tie into one word.
Yeah.
And when you do that, it's amazing. Like, oh, I could react this way. And the
Right.
next time that came around, because that came around quite a few times when we got back, I was able to handle that a little bit better.
Right. Yeah. And you essentially, that was part of your trauma then rewire, because you took something that wasn't great and you sat on it and you thought about it and you went through the process, and then you went, okay, this is now how I'm going to view it and see it and move forward with it. Even the crap things that, when we came home, I was like, crap, like we'll say the flat shit things that happened
Yes.
when we've gotten home, like, and how life happens and it sucks. But okay, well, we can go and we can still to this day be like, man, that was shitty. But you get through it, you processed it, and
Yep.
you had your anger, but you weren't raging, screaming mad.
I visualized my artwork.
Did you? That's
I did
awesome.
actually, yeah. Because as you're going through change or healing or deal uh accepting that it's not going to come together the way it was, and honestly that's okay because it wasn't the best the way it was.
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
those stitches are now bettering it because it's rewiring. Your heart is electric.
right.
Look at where we're going. Sweet mother of God. But but at the same time, during everything that occurred, and I'm not going to be open and about what occurred. It's some sensitive stuff that we're still dealing with. So one day we'll talk about that. But at the end of the day, it took a lot. And I would have visualized that and think, okay, I'm visualizing what could have happened. I'm visualizing what happened, and I'm visualizing this very moment.
Hmm.
So, in essence, I was doing mental artwork,
Yeah.
mindfulness. I did not have music on. There may be sirens involved. So, I guess that was music,
Yeah.
but it's helped me deal a lot better than what I would have dealt, how I would have dealt with this if this occurred a year ago.
Right. And even the snowball effect of everything that's happened afterwards too, it's helped you deal with it. It's helped, I mean, just the
Yes.
same as I too have had stuff that has happened that I'm not ready to talk about either. I mean, I talk about it, but I don't talk about it, so to speak. Um, I it's dealt in a much different way. And even going through it with Danica too, I found myself get mad at something, and then I was like, okay, am I mad or what am I? And I had to stop and I had to think. And then I went, okay, she's completely okay for thinking and feeling that right now. And I can't be mad. I have to give her the tools to help herself. And I essentially was in my room and she was in hers because I was angry. And then I texted her and I was like, you know what? You're right. I'm not going to make you do anything.
Yeah.
And that was that. And I mean, as parents who have gone through these horrible things, right? We only just do the best we can. We also have to tie our laces up and keep us together. So we give them the tools, they learn their own tools, and we just hope that they're always healthy coping skills. I know she has some, and I know she has some bad ones, as all teenagers do, right?
All people.
All people, yeah.
All people.
I was singling out the teenagers because
I
they
know,
are
I
just.
know, I know.
Oh.
Yes. That's yes. That's a big yes. At the end of the day though, it's amazing. It was an amazing experience. It was amazing to see. There was a lot of emotion. There was a lot of frustration. There was a lot of laughter,
Yeah.
a lot of bonding.
Yes, I met people this year that I knew, but I didn't know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that to me is just as valuable as the sessions, like, because you're friends with these people on Facebook or whatever, but you don't know them. Like, you know of them and they know of you from whatever within, first help. And then to like get together and be together and have fun together and have, and then you have the people that are from your years before that are in here, and then you're here, and then it's just, I don't know, it was just,
Yeah.
I had such a great year.
And you get
And
to
so
sit
did
around in
Danica.
different spots and enjoy. And the kids got to go spend time being kids.
Yeah. Oh
You
yeah.
know, being kids without having to be, they did not, there's a lot I recognized. And again, it's not that I'm not talking about it because I have processed a lot and spoken off mic for it. I'm not going to speak on mic right now for it, but to um, acknowledge you could see these kids and adults,
Right.
some adults, but these kids felt accepted.
Mm-hmm. They
They,
felt seen, accepted,
yes, yes, the majority
normal,
of them.
quote unquote normal,
Yep.
because these are their people.
Yeah. You don't have to look like, what is somebody going to ask me? Because nobody's going to ask you anything. Nobody's
Right.
going to feel sorry for you. Nobody wants to always feel sorry. Oh, these people are going to feel sorry for me. They're going to say, I'm so sorry. I don't want to hear it anymore.
Right.
No, nobody asked you anything
Nope. They were
except for your
just
name
kids.
and your phone or your snap.
Yeah. Who's your mom?
Yeah. Wear Ciara sandals.
Oh, don't go there.
This is why your child needs to be taller than you and have bigger feet.
She probably won't be. We'll probably be the same size forever. And then she'll always steal my clothes. She stole a pair of my Vans for school. I'm like,
We need to have the girls on one time.
I know. And yeah, that would be fun because that is truly, kids talking about everything.
Yeah.
And I feel like them two and Brielle, them three were like the three musketeers. And I
Yes.
love that. I love the bond that they created there when they essentially were all strangers
All
showing up for the
strangers.
first, because it was all their first times, right?
Yeah. All strangers, all came from different states,
Mm-hmm.
all came from different environments, not environment like where they were age
Right.
wise, where life was
Where life
in
was,
that
yeah.
moment. Yeah. So it was nice to see.
I loved watching them. I mean, we just sat, my PSA for everybody. If you ever go to Texas and you go to Dallas, go to the Gaylord because that place is phenomenal. And they have a water park that's just for the people there. And they have a lazy river. We sat in that thing for 2 full days and just watched people just float on by.
Yeah. And we had conversations,
Yes.
and they
And
were
we
good
laughed and
conversations.
we'd
Yes.
cry and we told our stories. And like I said, I became super close with a mom that I had been friends with on Facebook. A widow, but she's a mom too. Um, and we had been friends on Facebook, but we had never like had a conversation. And then we ended up spending all weekend together. So with you and
Yes.
Leslie
Yes. And the sun and the humidity
in the humidity and
and
the
the
heat
117-degree weather,
and the laughs.
where the lazy river was probably 90 degrees.
Yeah, but it felt amazing.
It did. It did. That's so funny. But it is. It's finding your people, your people that won't question you, that you can relate, but you're not going to sit there and question. You can just have a real non-judgmental conversation. And you're going to have that in each part of your life. You're going to have that that work, that coworker that you can do that with, your work stuff. You're going to have that somebody personal in your personal life. And you're going to have, well, somebody that can relate to exactly what happened to you.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And each time,
Multiple
each
people.
person, those are your buddy checks right there.
Yeah.
Each person you know that you could go to if you needed to, shoot them a text,
Yeah.
A phone call, that's going to get answered,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. Everybody has that. You just have to trust in yourself to be
Right.
vulnerable
Yep.
because nobody's judging that.
No. And that's, I know and I think we've maybe talked about it. Like I'm super bad with friends. Like I'll read something and I won't respond.
Mm-hmm.
But like the people that know me, like you, if I don't respond to you for a few days, you'll be like, hello.
Is there anybody in there?
Did you mentally respond? Are you
Yeah.
okay? Like those are the buddy checks like Christy's talking about, not the, because I will say this and you will acknowledge it too. Like when something bad happens and the people who text you every single day, like, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Do you need anything? Do you need anything? Like those aren't buddy checks. Those
Mhm.
are invasion of privacy. We'll say
They're
that.
they are digging for information.
Yes. And there's the whole meme out like right now, and it kind of makes me mad. And it says buddy checks aren't like something real, and you have to realize that everybody's going through something. They're all going through divorce, they're going through death. That that is not the definition of a buddy check either. Like we all have our own lives, yes, but it's the buddy check is when you're you're actively reaching out and there's no response, and then you go, hey, like, you okay? Do you need help? Like that is the active buddy response. That's
It's
the
it's also reminding that person on the receiving end of that buddy check that, hey, I'm letting you know you're not alone.
right. Yeah, exactly. And 90% of the time, I'm not alone. I just forget to respond to you.
Yes,
Like
I
I
know.
need to respond to Leslie yesterday from her not responding to me from the 2 days before that. Like, but that is life too, right? And if anybody ever gets mad at you for it, then you need to have a conversation with yourself if that person is valuable in your life.
Right.
What value do they bring? Because we're all busy, but it's the buddy checks that, not the insistent, consistent,
Inconsistent,
incon-
consistently inconsistent.
consistently inconsistent. Those people are the ones. Those are the ones that I hate to say it, but just don't have anything healthy to bring to the table. But the buddy checks that are the, hey, happy Friday, and then no response, and then but they see you online, and then Saturday let go by and Sunday come on, hey, I just want to make sure you're okay. Like that's a buddy check. That's just the
Absolutely.
that's the caring.
That's the positiveness that an individual can bring into somebody else's life. Because
Yeah.
remember, the brain is wired to take on the negative first.
Mm-hmm.
And by taking on a positive of a buddy check, they might not respond. They see it, they feel it, it means something to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. At the end of the day, find something like art therapy, a hobby of sorts, jam into music, dancing, whatever that looks like. Find that one thing to release and reboot yourself.
Yes.
And get your emotion out in a healthy way.
Yep.
Especially our first responders and their families.
Yes. They need it.
They do. They do.
The more I talk to people, the more I see a need the more I talk to people in the field, like the ones working, not people in general, but the more I talk to first responders or first responder families, like the family key is missing overall in every department, in every field, from police to dispatch. Like there needs to be more.
There does. And that's where us starting a conversation and having that here and spreading that to others is one of the small steps of making change. But you have to start stepping somewhere.
Yes.
And by doing that, you're going to keep us on the other side of where we are today.
Right. Exactly.
Well, thank you for coming on. It was great having you.
You're so welcome.
I appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Thanks for coming. Bye-bye.
Adios.
Until next time. We are excited to be able to start our day with Badge Brew Coffee. Hey, Robin, did you know that Badge Brew has a new charitable badge collab roast?
Hey, Christy, I thought I heard that was going to happen.
Yeah, it's called First Response Roast, with a spicy, smooth, medium roast with flavor notes of spice cake and citrus undertone.
Oh, that sounds amazing. And if that doesn't tempt our audience, a portion of the proceeds go to First Help. Oh, and don't forget, they're first responder family owned. Whether you're on day shift, night shift, or the shift of raising your family, Badge Brew has your coffee ready and waiting.
So let me ask you, what's your badge of honor? Find out by going to badgebrewcoffee.com and order yours. If you want the first response roast, click on Charitable Badge Collab. I know I am.